One thing at Najib Real Estate we get agents to do when they first start is pick up the phone. We have an open database here, which is lucky for them. But cold calling is extremely important. And we think, from a skill set point of view, it's probably up there, number one or number two, in terms of getting leads and building your brand. So today we're going to talk to Nathan Najib about some cold calling tips. All right, Nathan, you've got an open database, and you're filtering them. You're looking at who to contact. What's some ways you actually lead in with a conversation?
Yeah,
because a lot of agents, they don't know what to say.
sure. So most of our leads here, by the way, it's cold, but it's not cold. They've heard of us, so because we've been in touch with them for over a long time, so they know. It's not cold call, but it's a cold call for the agent that's going to call, making the first phone call, right? Because they don't know who Flynn or who Nick may be. So my conversation with that, as I say, is, hey, this is Flynn here from Najib. Just giving you a quick call to see everything is going with you at da-da-da address. And they might say, yeah, we okay? We're not thinking about selling. No, we're not. I'm not calling to see if you're thinking about selling now.
Yeah.
What is there anything we can do for you? Could you see your market report so you know what your home is worth? You've been here for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. Would you appreciate if we send you a digital report? Yes or no? And then the last question I say every time before you hang up is, if I had a buyer for your house, this is an important one. I'm curious. That's an important.
Yeah, I hear you say that a lot.
Absolutely. I'm curious because it makes people think, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a yes or a no. It's like, I'm just curious. If I had a buyer for your house, I was going to pay good money for it, would you sell? And they'll give you an answer. And then you take the conversation from there.
Yeah. And like you said, some of the database we have is semi-warm. What about if they're completely cold? You pick this person up. I don't know, maybe you bought a list, a data list that you can do nowadays, or you got it from a report downloaded, whatever it is.
Yeah.
How would you open the conversation then? Is it similar?
Yes, well, similar conversation. You'll lead like, this is Nathan here from Najib, just giving you a quick call, just see how everything is going with your address. Where did you get they'll probably say, where did you get my phone number from? Oh, we're just going through our database and I got your phone number.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, if I had a buyer for your house, would you sell? No, I'm not looking to sell. But then you go and nurture that person. Because the first call, you're probably not going to get the business. It doesn't work like that, right? But you make enough phone calls, then you get a bunch of leads, right? So it's just the number of phone calls you make. And real estate is just a numbers game, man.
Yeah.
The number of flyers you deliver, the number of doors you knock, the number of phone calls you make. And people say, like, it's not working. I'm like, yeah, how many phone calls are you making? 5, exactly.
How long have you been doing it for? Yeah. Same thing. On the phone, I've heard from a few of the agents, and some of them, they don't care. They're like, whatever, I'm just going to keep calling. But a few of them, they get caught at certain objections.
Yeah.
So, for example, they'll be like, oh, what's your commission? It's too high. Or another one is, how many homes have you sold if they're new? So how do you overcome these objections as a relatively new agent with no kind of history of sales? Yeah.
So we say here to our agents that you bank on our experience. If you're brand new, you bank on our experience. How many you've sold? We've sold many houses. We sell most of houses, example, in West Melton, whatever it may be, right? We, not me, because I've just come into the business 2 weeks ago, right? So that's what I was saying. If they say what your commission is maybe, or whatever other question is, just have a think rather than trying to blurt something out. Have a think about it, because you're going to find an answer for it. Because people get nervous, right? If you're a brand new agent, you get nervous and you just say something.
Yeah.
Have a think about it. Take your time. Don't get nervous. Take your time and then answer the question. Like, give them that. People want to know what your commission is, right? Don't get freaked out because they ask you for your commission. It's not a bad thing if they ask you for your commission. They probably want to do business, right? We charge 2.95% across the sale, and plus GST, plus $5.50 our administration fee. How do you feel about it? Yeah, I think it's fair. Or no, it's too expensive. It works out expensive than most agencies. Yeah, we're not the cheapest agency. But you probably don't want to have an agent, the cheapest agent, selling you most expensive asset, do you?
Yeah.
Right? When all those questions, like, you learn it over the years, but we've got the platform that we've done all these scripts that are there for people to look at, right? But yeah, don't get nervous. Which is, I appreciate it's hard when you make your first, second, third phone call. Yeah.
And prepare, like have those objections, if you're getting a lot of them, write them down and actually have an answer.
100%.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I did when I started in real estate, I used to have back in the day, I used to have a dictaphone. And then I record myself, and then we all got stuck. I'll learn the script, and then I'll replay it. I'll record myself with that before me talking to a potential client. And then when I say it next time, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so practice makes it not perfect, as you can always improve, but it makes it better.
That kind of leads into my next question. You said volume, obviously important, and volume will ensure that you do get better on the phone. But you need to record yourself, because if you keep getting rejected over and over again, it's 100%. Like, when's is the question that I've just not done enough, or I'm actually pretty bad at this and I need to improve? Yeah.
That's a great point, absolutely. Because what you do is, like, you check out the first domino, you make 100 phone calls, you make no bookings at all, right? Right, so I'm making enough phone calls, but my script needs to be refined, right? Then either record yourself or sit down with a mentor to see what you say, right? Because that little difference, slight difference about, I'm curious if I had a buyer for your house. One of our agents wasn't doing that. I said, you just asked that question. All of a sudden, you started booking meetings. Oh, interesting, right?
Yeah.
Small little differences in the scripts. Is that like the golf analogy that if you turn your hands slightly, your ball will go a lot more straighter than if you just turn it slightly more, it will go, whoa, all the way out there. It might not be too much difference that you'll make, but slightly those differences will make a huge difference in, you might not need to make 100 phone calls now because your script is so good. You only need to book the same meeting or meetings, as a lot more meetings, is to get your scripts right.
Okay, great. Yeah, one thing I've noticed with like you as well, you are direct. You're not passive.
Yeah.
Like, you're still friendly, but you're direct with your questioning.
Yeah.
And that's what brings out a direct answer. You don't fluff around. Yeah.
I think so, because you can, like, I have fluffed around. I didn't want to ask the question, like, if I had a buyer for your house, would you sell it? I don't want to, they might tell me, like, something that I don't want to hear, right? But if I can get to the bottom of it, I'm more upfront with them. They'll be upfront with me, right? If they're not going to sell, they're not going to sell. They might as well give me an answer now, or wait for me to go to their house and then they tell me I'm not going to sell the house, right? So I don't want to waste their time. I want to be respectful of their time, and as well as my time is valuable, right? If we treat our time as salespeople, one of the other mistakes that salespeople make is that they think, like, well, I'm flexible, my time is flexible, and they treat it like an hourly paid kind of employee. You don't get paid hourly.
Yeah.
If you don't make sales, if you don't make bookings, you don't get paid. Once you hit around that, then you become more valuable. You're probably going to ask the right questions from people.
That's true. People are still, if they come from a salary job, they're still acting like they're on a salary and working like they're on a salary.
Exactly.
But actually, well, there's no income at the moment.
That's one more thing, though, right? You're just going to make slightly shift on, like, okay, I'm not on a salary. I've got to be so protective of my time.
Yeah. All
Those
right.
small little changes make a huge difference, right? So
Brilliant. All right. We'll wrap it up there. So if you are getting on the phone and you want some scripts, we have this in our agent scaling roadmap. So head to the link in the bio. You can get these for free. You can start using them in your day-to-day. And if you're thinking about joining an agency, we actually have an open database here at Najib Real Estate. So get in touch, go to our careers page, and you can inquire through there. Thanks for listening.